Hello, welcome back to my channel, Healing with Kiara. We'll be doing just a general love reading. I don't know if you can tell, but it's raining, so also kind of thundering. So from time to time you might hear thunder or just like noises. I also live in an apartment complex, so sometimes there's noise above me or below me or just around in the parking lot. You never know. And I have a roommate. We have pets, so sometimes there's sounds. So sorry about that. But I kind of like, it's a little darker today, but I kind of like the vibe. So yeah, and I like the thunder, so I think it'll be interesting to see what comes through. Where I'm living here, it was raining for like 2 months straight, and while I started these videos, it's actually been like sunny the past few days. It was really, really nice. And then now this is kind of how it was literally for like 2 months before this week. So it might be like this a lot in videos. So I'm using the Cosmic Slumber Tarot. Okay, so I'm gonna do like a signifier card for each person and kind of read into that energy first, so you can see if this resonates with you, and then I'll get like their energy towards viewer, viewer's energy towards them, the connecting energy, maybe a little bit more if I feel called, and then do like a more of a deep dive into the other person's energy towards the viewer. That's just how I do my love readings. Okay, so this is the other person. Viewer. I just want to get some clarifying cards real quick. This is quite interesting. Okay, so for the other person, we have the Three of Cups. And then clarifying that, we have the Six of Swords upright and just like my personal deck. So it's like harmonious journey, moving into calmer waters, moving into a more harmonious environment, like moving in the direction that you're intended to move into for your highest good for the other person. So what I'm seeing here is this other person could have been like unsure of how viewer felt, and so there was like other energies involved. There was definitely third party energies here to where this other person just didn't really know what was going on, or maybe you guys are like just starting to come together. So something interesting here that I'm seeing is like it's raining outside, right? And then the bottom of the deck we have the Empress, and I'm not sure if you can see it, but there's like clouds kind of raining down on her. And then here we have these Three of Cups are like catching all of the rain in their cups. So what I'm getting from this is like this other person was not sure what was going on, and so instead of kind of like sitting around and sulking over it and just like being really depressed and unsure, they went out and not in a negative way, but just like they had other parties or other energies in their life that they were involved in, because they were just like really unsure. Or there's like something coming to me where it's like they didn't want to just sit around and miss out on opportunities and just sulk and just like be depressed and just so it's almost like a positive thing. Like it's not like this toxic, like, oh, they were just involved with other people because they didn't know. Or it's like if you're not getting reciprocal energy back, then you have every right to see what else is out there, and like enjoy yourself and have a good time. And through doing that, you can just kind of like save yourself from feeling really left out and like feeling like you're just getting rained on and like you've just been left out in the cold, you know. But I'm with the clarifying card here, so that was the like their energy. With the clarifying card, it's like they're moving into calmer waters. It's like moving away from turbulence into harmony. Also, with the Empress at the bottom of the deck, what I'm seeing here is like baggage. And if you're like a single mom or you have a kid or something, please don't be offended. I don't mean in that case. That's the overall energy I'm getting from this card, is like someone here is coming into the situation with like a sense of baggage, but I'm not sure which side that energy is coming from. So that's why I wanted like the clarifying cards. But I'm seeing like the baggage on this side is coming from, it was just a sense of not wanting to be alone and be like left out in the cold and just like getting rained on by yourself, you know. It's like the power of three, we're able to just it's like when one person on their own wouldn't have been able to catch all of this rain, but it's like whenever you bring people together, it's like people to lift you up. And so maybe this third party wasn't even like them in another romantic relationship. It was like going out with friends and like people that support them and lift them up and help them in hard times, you know. So all of these people coming together were able to like really catch this rain, and so it didn't come down on one person. So I'm just seeing like support, and it's like it's a positive thing. So the viewer's energy, we have the Two of Cups and the Hermit. So what I'm getting from this here is the viewer here, there was a point where the viewer felt like they needed to kind of isolate, self-isolate, and kind of draw inward, to kind of like seek inward. And just with the cat here, it's like find like companionship within yourself, and like what is true to yourself. And like with this solar system type stuff here, I'm seeing like seeking like your divine path, and like trying to follow the stars in the sense of like the direction that you should go in, and like what's really right to you. Like I'm not getting that this was toxic either, like not like, oh, you were just like playing games and not really communicating, or just kind of keeping to yourself, so you were leaving this other person in a state of question, so then they had every right to get in another relationship. I'm really not seeing it in this super toxic light. It's more like this other person just needed other people to support and to lean on, to lift them up, so that they weren't just like going through it by themselves, you know. And you needed to find that like inner wisdom and inner knowledge, and like what was true to you. And then the conclusions that are coming out of this is that you guys would each like to pour into each other's cups. So with the Two of Cups in this deck, it really is a representation of like exactly that, like pouring into each other's cups, and reciprocating that, like just like very affectionate, tender, loving energy. So what I'm seeing from this is like, viewer, if you've been in just like a period of introspection, isolation, and like really trying to figure out what's right and what you should do, and you really came to the conclusion that there's like another person for you, it's like you needed to isolate to really make sure that this was going to be the right fit for you. And you do feel like this is going to be a mutual give and take, where you give back to each other and lift each other up and support each other. Because this person has found a way to do this for themselves. Like when you can figure out how to just like navigate difficult and turbulent times on your own, like even though you're leaning on others, like that can be a resourceful way, you know, rather than just kind of like harboring up and like gaining like really negative emotions, or returning to something really toxic. It's like the power of like other people that care about you coming together to help get through the hard times is what I'm getting here. So that's like a huge lesson. It's like each party here like learned their lesson, so they can kind of elevate to the next level of like partnership with each other, because they understand the like the power and importance of leaning on one another. You had to kind of isolate and go within to understand the importance of leaning on one another, you know. And this person needed their support group, or this around them, helping them to lift them up during the difficult times, to truly understand like the importance of like leaning on each other, and sharing with each other. So I really hope you can still hear me over the rain. I'm going to try and speak louder. Yeah, because at the bottom of the deck here we have mental fog. So I'm getting that that's how the viewer felt in the past, is like just that little bit of uncertainty, and so yeah, you had to really draw inward, and the lesson that is learned here is the power and importance of like partnership and being able to lean on someone that you trust and that you love and that cares about you, and having someone where you can just like be that for each other is a huge thing, you know. And so clarifying the viewer, we have happily ever after and divine masculine. And also like divine protection and proposal. So what I'm getting is that like after a period of introspection, the viewer has come to the conclusion, you know, they really do want to propose that happily ever after. And then this other person also wants to move in more of a positive direction. So each person has like learned their individual lessons and had to go through their individual situations. So maybe this other person, that's why the Empress is at the bottom of the deck, the other person is that divine feminine. And maybe this is kind of how they felt in the past, and they just have finally kind of learned that lesson of just like how to, because the Empress like stands on her own, like she's just very like self-empowered and just ever flowing from herself, but that can be really, really, like she just seems really lonely, even though she's like weathering her circumstances. And here we see that this person has really learned like the power of connection and relying and leaning on others, and trusting in others to help lift you up emotionally, rather than feeling like you have to carry all the burdens and all the baggage all on your own. You know, I think a lot of women go through that, you know, and like maybe this other person's like a single parent. They don't necessarily have to be a woman, but yeah, maybe the other person's like a single parent, or they have like a lot of siblings or family that they have to take care of, or there's just like a lot of burdens and just a lot of stuff on their shoulders that they've always kind of had to do on their own and figure out on their own. And they're just now figuring out that letting other people help you, letting other people support you and uplift you and be there for you, really is going to be the thing that gets them into a more harmonious situation. Is going to serve them the best, even if it feels uncomfortable. Like if you always had to just like rely on yourself and show up for yourself. And maybe this other, so the viewer here wasn't quite sure if they could handle all of that, right? And so they had to kind of draw in and see what was truly right for them, like, you know, what was truly best for them. Yeah, this is just like very, very positive here. So the connecting energy. Kind of brightening. The light is like coming in here. That was interesting. Yeah, it was like so dark and like heavy. It was like very heavy. I believe as this here, the viewer, and it's like there's like a fog lifting. All of a sudden, even here in the reading, it's like there's like a light coming in here. It's like just like we're seeing more clearly now. We just have a little bit more clarity and perspective and understanding into what's going on here. So this is a connecting energy, and then their energy towards the viewer, viewer's energy towards them. Yeah, so your energy towards them, we have the morning. So this is a bonus card in this deck, and it literally represents like waking up. You can see it's like this person is waking up out of their slumber and rising to, you know, the sun and all these colors, and it's just like the light coming in, literally how I was just describing. I literally just said like the fog is lifting, and so yeah, that's what I'm getting here, is like there's a lot of clarity and just like seeing things in a new light here. And then their energy towards viewer, we have the Seven of Pentacles. So the Seven of Pentacles is all about being really patient and kind of waiting for, it's like planting the seeds and waiting for the fruits of your labor to produce, you know, in time and divine timing. And so that is definitely what I was picking up here before, with just like the Three of Cups. Like they weren't just gonna sit all alone and just like be sad and feel left out and like be a victim while they're waiting and being patient here. Like they're gonna, you know, lean on people that care about them and support them and build them up and are gonna help them get through it, you know, which is a good thing. But then there's also like taking time out to, you know, look over the horizon and the goal, the vision, like the desire, the dream that you're working towards and that you're being patient for. So what I'm seeing from that is like, even though they found these other people to like lean on and help support them and build them up during this time, they did not forget about like viewer and the end goal and like the care and the love and the feelings they had for viewer, and the seeds that were planted, if you will, like when they knew that they needed to kind of give you your space, but they always just kind of like kept you in mind and kept you in their intentions in their heart. Okay, so my window recently started leaking, and it's not that bad right now, but if it gets worse, we'll just have to end the reading. I might still post it though, because sometimes these things happen for a reason. But yeah, so they knew like that you just kind of needed your space and needed some time to yourself to like go within and figure it out. And so by them doing that, now you're able to kind of wake up and have this like fresh, new, clear perspective on things. So the connecting energy, we have the Princess of Pentacles and the Two of Pentacles. So with the Two of Pentacles, we see like kind of like going back and forth, like debating, should I or should I not, like just kind of like making that decision, making that choice. And with the Princess of Pentacles, I see how she's kind of like clinging on to her pentacle here. She's a little bit kind of looking over her shoulder. Like what I'm getting from this is like maybe because of what has happened in the past, both parties are kind of like protecting themselves, protecting their vulnerability, kind of like thinking it through and trying to decide the level in which you should like be vulnerable and expose yourself and open yourself up. I'm going to get a clarifying card for the connecting energy here. So on the bottom of the deck we have alignment. So I see faith in me. So what I'm getting is like each person is literally debating like, okay, should I there hasn't been a lot of like overall communication here from both sides about like what each person is individually going through, what each lesson that each person is like individually going through. And so there's this element of like both parties are trying to figure out like, okay, should I put my faith in this? Should I go for it? Should I be the one to be vulnerable? Should I protect myself? Should I be smarter about this time? Both people are like trying to navigate like, and I'm also seeing like if there is any communication at this point, both people are kind of like tiptoeing as far as like not 100% sure how much they should say and do. Like you guys don't really know where you stand with each other, and like if there is a way to come back to each other, like if the other person really does see each other in that way. That's just where the current energy is right now. It's just like a lot of uncertainty and just like going back and forth and trying to figure out like, should I keep leaning on the people that have been there for me, with like I'm seeing how she's like leaning on this animal here, and it's like this is like that sturdy support that they've had. Like, should I continue to lean on like what I know is going to protect me and be there for me and that I can rely on, or should I kind of like have faith that this other person does really, really genuinely care for me? Because at the bottom of the deck we have the Five of Pentacles. So definitely in the past, the other person did feel really left out in the cold. And so like as a viewer, one thing I'm seeing here is like from your perspective, you really do care about them so genuinely. And you just needed this time like really just for yourself, right? And it was so genuine for you. And so for you, it's hard to imagine that this person would be like confused or conflicted, and not understand like how passionately they care about you, but you really did have to like take your time and kind of draw in and have like that time for yourself. And so it really did leave the other person feeling left out in the cold. And so it really was necessary for them to find these people to lean on, to support them, to help them get through this, because otherwise they would have been like that other Empress that was on the bottom of the deck earlier, that was literally just being rained on while she was breastfeeding her child. Like she's like you know, taking care of others and like being this like person that she has to be in her life, and is just like literally going through it alone, like getting dumped on. That's just like a lot, you know, and nobody deserves to be in that position. So even though they were being really, really patient and really understanding here, they had to like move into a better position and put themselves into like a more harmonious, calm, healthy position for themselves as well. Yeah, in order to kind of overcome this like really feeling isolated, left out, left in the cold. Yeah, the water is just totally it's splashing everywhere, so I would normally read deeper into this, but yeah, I don't want to ruin all my cards here. It's literally just like this little corner though, so I am going to just get like an oracle card and a couple message cards, and actually, let's see here. I think if I just make sure they're not wet here. Yeah, I live in a really, really beautiful, lovely area, but just a couple few maintenance issues. So yeah, support my channel, like and subscribe, comment on this video, it really helps me. Like I said in my description, I'm just like really working to get myself in a better position. Just want to help others get themselves in a better position. So yeah, that is how you can help little old me out. Okay, yeah, so I think all the water is like right there, so I think if I just come over here, it's not really raining anymore, so okay. Okay, so then where they're at. Okay, what they're doing. Their energy towards you. Thoughts. And their feelings. Okay, so right away, in their energy towards you, like flipped over, and we have the Fool in reverse. So what's interesting in this specific deck, like the Fool here, the little dog that's like running along with them is actually not just like in most decks, that dog is just like, yeah, like let's go, bud. But he's actually like biting her and like trying to pull her back and kind of trying to warn her. And like you can see here, she's literally just, because she's just so naive and just so unaware of her path in front of her and just like headed out full confidence, she's not seeing that there's this huge gap and she's literally gonna walk right off this cliff and into this huge you know, it's not going to be good. So this dog's actually trying to pull her back and be like, hey, because typically, like, the Fool represents, like, just striking out, just with your little sack and just heading out on your own and just starting your journey, you know, and that's just what it is. But in this deck, it's kind of like, okay, it's like trying to warn you, like, okay, you need to actually think things through a little bit more here, because this is really going to jam you up. And so I'm not trying to say that viewer is the equivalent of like this huge gaping hole that this other person's going to fall through if they go for it, but what I'm seeing here is this dog here trying to pull them back is like a representation of their friends and like the people that they found in their life, like from that Three of Cups energy, the people that have been building them up and supporting them and you know, helping boost them so that they're not just kind of like going through everything all on their own. How we saw like how those two people came and helped that person weather that storm by like the power of three, you know, just like all being able to collect the water so it didn't have to impact one person. It's like these people that really, and it is coming from a place of like care and just not wanting to see them get hurt, literally. It's like literally they just don't want to see them get hurt. And that's these you know, you can't blame these other people for just like caring about this person. From their perspective, they're like, this is going to be really, really bad, you know, and maybe this person can easily step over or like jump over this mess here, you know, but they're just not paying attention to something right now. And so there's like people around them that are like, hey, so we have it in the reverse here. So what I'm seeing is this other person is listening to these people, or he's taking heed, or he's approaching the situation, he, they, gender doesn't matter, and just saying like, this other person is quit scratching my chair. Okay, hang on 1 second, folks. I let my cats be in here because it was nap time, and they were doing really good, but she just, when I channel energy really, really heavy, my female cat just, yeah, she just like will pull me away. You probably saw like multiple times I was like looking at her, like, I don't know, anytime. It's so interesting if you know more about cats and like what the association is, or like if they can sense when you're getting heavy downloads or what it is. But she's just she already knows that she's not supposed to scratch my chair, and it's like yeah, and it's like totally throws you off. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna try my hardest to get through this reading. Okay. So, Yeah, so right away that was the first thing that flipped out. So what I'm getting for like their energy towards you is they are using caution and they're taking heed. They're aware that they could get hurt, you know, and that is affecting their energy towards you, like their overall energy towards you. So okay, so the card representing them, just them, is the Two of Pentacles, which makes sense. That is, I did feel like that was like predominantly more their energy of just like really trying to debate it and think it through. Like, especially like right now, their energy towards you is just being so cautious, and so they're just really thinking things through. But it's not just personal to you. I think that is just also kind of where they are in their life in general, is they're really thinking through like just weighing things out and really trying to be very considerate. So where they are, we have the Ace of Swords. This is kind of where they're at and what they are doing. We have the Prince of Swords. So in both of these decks here, like you can see he literally has like blood on him and blood on his sword from whatever he's had to go through. So there's a sense of caution here as like, you know, having to go to battle before, like knowing, you know, there's still blood on his shirt from like the pain that was experienced the last time, you know. In this card here, kind of where they're at, in the description for this card, it says like, great pain is all around them, but they're really finding a way to persevere. And so what I'm seeing is there's like this little tiny person, and then there's a bigger person like wielding the sword, and so they have found a way to get through this pain and this like emotional turmoil and discomfort and all of the stuff that they've had to feel and go through here. They have really leaned on the support and the guidance of others, helping them to find their strength and find their confidence and power through and overcome. And they really have leaned on like a force greater than themselves, if you will. It's something I just heard is just like, you know, God himself, only God himself got me through that. And they're not really just willing to like go back into battle and just get hurt all over again and go through that all over again and just experience like more of the same things they've went through. And so they're being really cautious here and like really thinking it through, like, do I want to be vulnerable to certain things, people, situations? And then with you as well, there is this very cautious energy towards you to where they're really just like, how should I go about this? Because they just don't feel like they're going to be okay or they're really going to make it if they open themselves up and be vulnerable to anyone that is just going to kind of let them fall, you know, or like isn't, if it's not going to be like supportive and consistent, something they can rely on, then they just really don't want to get hurt. you know, like this little person in this card here is definitely going to get hurt if they don't listen to this dog. So that's just their energy towards you. And so their thoughts, we have the Princess of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles. So what I'm seeing here is they feel as though they've worked really, really hard, or they're thinking about the fact that they have worked really, really hard and kind of like learned how to protect themselves and lean on others in order to get to this like Queen of Pentacles status, to where they can rely on themselves, be independent, take care of themselves. They had to kind of like adopt this energy in order to get to this energy. And so now that they've gotten to this place where like they're like, yeah, I got it on my own, I can pay my own bills, I can take care of my own self, I have, you know, friends and people that love me and care about me to support me and build me up and be there for me. I have support, like literal support to help carry me that I can lean on. They're like, I have love and I have everything that I could want. Like I can provide anything I want for myself. So they're really thinking through, like, should I risk that? Like, should I risk investing in something else? Not that I'm trying to say you're like a risk or you're an investment or whatever, but that's just what I'm getting here. So their Eight of Cups in their feelings, this is how they feel towards you, is the Eight of Cups here. They also, what I'm getting with the thoughts here, is they also see you like this, too. Like, they also see you as, because then we have the Prince of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. And so it's like they also see you as this independent person that has, like, protected themselves and you can take care of yourself, and so they kind of think like you don't need them, and so they're not sure, like they're really trying to think it through, and yeah, they think like, you know, she can do all this on her own, because whenever you isolated and went into that like hermit energy, that's kind of what it showed this person, is like she knows how to protect herself and take care of herself, and so does she really need me? But obviously, like we saw, like you have that Two of Cups, like happily ever after, divine proposal, energy towards them. So you, even if you don't need them, you want them, and that's what you realize like during that isolation introspection period. And they're just not to that place yet of fully understanding that. So yeah, I can't give you advice on like what to do about that, but that's what I'm seeing here is like there's a big energy of like this energy that you have towards them, and the understandings and the lessons that you've learned, and the clarity you gained on how you feel, and how you want to show up. They don't really know that whole side of the story yet. So this is where they're at right now based off of like the information that they have from the past, you know. But their feelings towards you with the Eight of Cups. So the Eight of Cups is like, you're kind of at the end of your road here. It's like you have no choice but to change the way that you were doing things, or like change directions. So this person is just kind of like climbing up the mountain and escaping out of this environment here. And so this is what I'm getting, is like being at the end of the road here. So there's this feeling of wanting to, not wanting to continue to do things the same way, and wanting to kind of like walk away from the past and how things were in the past and do things differently. There's like wanting to just like totally change up the approach and like the style and the way of like going about things here. So that's what I'm getting, is like with this back and forth, their feelings are kind of like taking over here, and they're like, okay, I don't necessarily want to keep doing things the way that I was. And that could be why the energy towards you is like the Fool in reverse, is like, instead of just kind of like going about it blindly, or just like approaching the situation blindly, or like not having a lot of thought and just kind of like rushing into it, they really are having to like redirect. There's like a delay here because they're having to like redirect and go about things differently based off the way that they feel. But they're still, this is where they're at, and they're still in pain, you know. They're still leaning on like a structured support system here to be like okay mentally, you know. So just be really conscious of that. Yeah, so I want to get one of these here. This deck is from the Four Corners area, Four Corners of Colorado, which is where I'm from. So it's called Hands of the Ancients Medicine Cards. Where I'm from, in the Four Corners, there's a lot of reservations. I'm actually from really southwest Colorado, like basically the last like area of the town you can live in before you get to the reservation. So yeah, it's just a really cultural and spiritual area. So this is a local artist, Jan Hart. She's a local, or Jan Wright, I'm so sorry, mixing up people in my hometown. But yeah, Jan Wright, she's a local artist in the community, very beautiful, talented artist, and she created this deck. So as I was moving up here, I stopped in one of the towns near my hometown, and I was trying to go to a bakery. I like gave my friend a ride to a job interview, and I was like, yeah, I'll go to the like bakery they have there that's super good. And I like walked into this art gallery on accident instead, because I didn't understand where the front door was, which is like something typical something I would do. I just, keep watching me, you'll understand. But yeah, so I just walked in and was like really thrown off, and it was really pretty, so I was walking around, and then I was like, I found these super awesome cards. And then I went to the bakery afterwards and got a super bomb burrito, obviously. I figured out where the front door was eventually. Okay. So with these cards, they're actually not labeled and there's no words on them. It's all like her paintings. And so you have to look them up here. But yeah, each one has like a really nice description. I'm not sponsored by her or anything, or like, yeah, we don't have like a partnership or anything. I just really love my hometown, or my home area, and people from there, and the art and the culture there, so be boosting it, obviously. So the bottom of the deck, we have War. War of South. Fighting, killing, protection, boundaries, sustenance. So this is the photo. These are ancient tools for hunting, but also of war. Fighting and killing are in every culture and every form of life, from people to animal down to insect. Killing, for instance, is inevitable, from eating meat to cultivating plants. However, in this troubled world, many people put their beliefs, color, religion, and needs above all others, and they strike out against those different from themselves. Hatred and righteousness often lead to war. There is evidence of war, fighting for resources, and even cannibalism in the ancient times of the Four Corners. Archaeologists attempt to put these pieces together for what life was like, but much of is conjectured since none of these were written word, only stories to be passed down, though evidence of massacre has been found. Around 1100, the people moved into more protective, defensive places to live, indicating anticipation of conflict. The tools of war today are vastly different from what was used in ancient time, but the killing, maiming, and torture of many may have been just as brutal. Look at what connection you have with war, whether you have actually fought for your freedom or are close to someone who has been in the armed service or have supported or have spoken against war. Notice where in your physical body is affected when you think about or respond to war. Give that place love and healing. Tell yourself you are protected. Set up boundaries if you do not feel safe. Allow words of criticism and judgment to move through you and not be stored in your body. Now look at the war within yourself. What are you fighting? To save or to destroy or to change your life? Look at the emotions attached to this struggle. If you allow anger, distrust, prejudice, and judgment of yourself, or in fact of others, to rule this conflict, you may be making yourself ill. Storing negative emotions in your body creates illness and disease. It is time to take new direction and find peace within yourself and with others. It takes a lot of work to make such a major shift, but letting go of emotional attachment of the opposition be healthier for all. May the concept of war and killing be put aside for the desire for peace, understanding, and acceptance of self and of all people within their chosen paths. So this is at the Anasazi Heritage Center in Dolores, Colorado. Okay, so that was at the bottom of the deck. So, you know, there may have been just like a lot of conflict in the past. I'm seeing this person is still in a lot of pain here. And yeah, there's, like I said before, like there's still blood on their shirt from the last battle, essentially. They're really still feeling it. Beautiful. Okay. Okay, so we have Grandmother Tree of North. Ancient being, wisdom, grounding, listening, roots deep into earth, arms reaching upward. This ancient one is here for us to cherish, confide our most secrets of secrets, hug when we need to feel love, and listen to her wisdom. Like many of the old-growth junipers in the Four Corners, she is over 400 years old. She's twisty, gnarly, and has a lot of branches that no longer feel her life, but hang bragging from her stronger limbs. She has seen so much through generations of animals, birds, and humans that have rested on or beneath her branches. If she could tell us her stories. Tree beings are the conduit between earth and sky. Their roots are planted firmly and deeply into Mother Earth, while their arms reach up to Father Sky in blessing. May we humans be like Grandmother Tree and feel our roots grounding us deeply into the earth, while our hearts, minds, and arms reach up to Spirit. Then may we become the conduit between the Mother and the Father and feel their energies and blessings surge through us. You may wish to find an ancient tree to honor and bring your troubles to. You might be surprised how she can answer your many questions and connect you to a deeper place within yourself. Let her know your tears, and when you are sad or despondent, let her sense your joy and you discover some greater part of yourself. And let her feel your appreciation, blessings, and honoring. Great wisdom and resolution to problems can come from sitting beneath her, posing a question, and being still enough to listen. Her message may come through a bird song, a sudden cleansing word, or an image or word suddenly drifting through your mind. Take whatever comes to you first and analyze it later, for the first impression is likely to be the most powerful. Do not doubt what you receive, for there is meaning to it. May Grandmother Tree bless you with the feeling fully grounded while looking upward to your higher being and knowing with the heart soaring. Allow the energies of earth and spirit to move through your body, mind, and soul. May you truly listen and be open to the wisdom that is already within you, of which Grandmother Tree can remind you. So I'm feeling here that this was a lot of that's where that Hermit energy came in for the viewer, is they really took that time to go within. And I'm also getting for the other person, like how I said, they were kind of relying on other structured systems. It definitely said somewhere in here, I don't know, there's something in here about leaning upon the tree, right? And I feel like that's what I was saying for the other person, is you both kind of went on your own individual path and figured out what you can rely on, and what is solid and true to you. A lot of the trees look like this in the Four Corners area. Yeah, hiking trails you'll go on, find really, really old, beautiful trees like this. Okay, we also have this card here, so family of heart, deep connection, acceptance of differences, unconditional love, help each other to grow. These handprints vary in size, indicating perhaps mother or father and children. On the stone is a perfectly shaped heart in which pebbles have collected. Together they indicate love of family. You have drawn this card. Take a moment to feel the deep connection to those you love and care about in your family. Just as the heart shape has collected little rocks, our love for our children, parents, and other loved ones is an assemblage of lots of experiences, some colorful gems, and some rocky and sharp. Still, they all make up the heart. If you struggle with a relationship within your family, look closely if the problem lies in your own judgment of what you think they should do or think or believe. It's good to remember that though they may have been with you since birth, they still are their own person. They came into this world with their own lessons, and actually they may be here to create all sorts of lessons for you. We're all in this game of life together, and we're drawn to our family to help each other figure it all out and to grow spiritually and emotionally. When there is a flare-up, ask yourself what is your part in it and find out what you can learn from it. Put it on you, not them. Then the conflict will dissolve or at least lessen. When these same people drive us nuts, we have the opportunity to accept their differences, honor who they are, and just love them. That's the key to loving unconditionally. When we put their needs above our own neediness to be right, to be loved, to be appreciated for all we do, and to be understood. When we truly listen to what we have to say, we become open to greater understanding, allowing both parties to grow. The absolute best communication with children or other family members assists them in thinking that they have it figured out rather than telling them what to do. Ask questions to lead and to lead them to what you hope will be their choice to a solution. This takes a great amount of effort, but in the long run keeps the relationships in love and respect, and the rewards will be great. May you continually remind yourself of all the love and deep connections you feel for your children, parents, siblings, and all relations. May you fully realize how you have been brought together to help each other grow and to move out into the world as loving and caring people. And these pictographs superimposed on a stone in Moab, Utah. Superimposed. Okay, it's spelled Superimpposed. So if you know, I'm not ashamed, I'm not good at spelling, I'm dyslexic, so if I ever say something that sounds a little weird, or I like flip something around, or yeah, it's just how my brain works. So yeah, oh my gosh. So I feel like with this card here, like I was saying in the very beginning of the reading, is like that the other person has really been leaning on like a third party. And so that's what I'm getting here is like the support that they've had that's really been helping them to lift them up has been, like I said, like it's not toxic. It's not like they're just like out like getting with other people to keep themselves occupied. Like it's like people that really, really genuinely care about them, like their friends, their family, or like friends that are family. Like it's a huge part of like their structured support system that's like all around them to help like lift them up and build them up. And so yeah, for viewer, like viewer handled it in a way of like drawing inward and going into hermit mode and kind of isolating, and then the other person handled it very differently, and that can kind of create a lot of like feelings in itself. So viewer, you may have been like, what do you mean, like with some of this like distrust that the other person has, because you might be like, I literally was just like, to myself, like working on myself, like so confused. But yeah, looking at like our own relationship that we have with like these types of people in our lives, like sometimes if we don't have the best relationship with our family, or we've been really hurt by our family, it can be really hard for us to understand if the other person relies on their family so much to help build them up and support them. But everybody kind of comes from like a different system and it has different experiences, and leans on others in different ways, and everybody like needs others for different reasons. And that's really what I'm getting here, is like it doesn't make the other person bad or wrong because they handle it differently than you, and they need others and they need support. And not everyone is good at like isolating and just like drawing inward to find those conclusions. And so for viewer, what I'm seeing is there's going to need to be a lot of communication to helping the other person understand how genuinely you do feel, and like the how much you really do see that you could pour into each other's cups. Like from your perspective, it can be so positive, so good, like you guys can totally work it out. You have like a divine proposal coming in, that in your heart is very genuine. The reasons why you had to like isolate and draw to yourself, And so it's really about like helping the other person. Even how I was saying with this card, like there's certain ways you can communicate with others that like takes a little bit more work, but it helps the other people understand who we are and where we're coming from and our intentions. So yeah, that's what I'm getting. I'm just gonna get like a few message cards for like what would they say to you. Okay, I just want to say, like, if this did not resonate, you probably wouldn't have watched this far if it didn't, but yeah, if this didn't resonate, I already have 2 other general love readings up on my channel. I'm going to be doing just like one daily, so I'll have a new one tomorrow. So yeah, if this did not resonate, or kind of did, but you feel like your situation's a little different, I'll have a new one up tomorrow sometime. So tune in. Okay, so we have they are waiting for you. So yeah, even though they've had to like really rely on others to help get them through this, they still have that like 7 of Pentacles, how they were just kind of waiting in the field staring at their pentacles. They're like waiting for that manifestation to come back. So that's the bottom of the deck energy. We have I worry about us a lot. So I feel like that's this here. It's like, yeah, there's a lot of concern, a lot of worry. I am terrified. So yeah, they're just scared to get hurt. Let me hold you. So I feel like that goes back to like their feelings I was picking up on. Like they really do want to, I just dream and wish for everything. Like they do have this desire. They are just literally terrified. Like terrified. That's where the worry comes from. It's just like being scared to get hurt again. Just like I saw with the Fool. But I am addicted to you. So yeah, at the end of the day, they really do have very genuine feelings. They do care a lot as well. And yeah, it just comes down to not wanting to put themselves out there and get hurt again, basically. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave it there. Thank you if you made it this far. Yeah, if this didn't resonate, I'll have like another video tomorrow. I'll be posting just general love readings daily. But if this did, or if you'd like to get a more personal reading, you can click the link in my description. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day.